exact same bans as last week that they did against AHQ. And now I can tell you the one difference is AHQ have banned out LeBlanc instead of Syndra this time around, and they've also first picked that Gnar. They first picked LeBlanc last week. Gnar was a big difference. Stake on Gnar was that big difference. But AHQ got their hands on the Rek'Sai, which you can see you've already locked in.
This is actually a really good pick and ban phase already for AHQ, because it was actually really smart, because not only Rek'Sai is open, but Jarvan is open too. And you can't obviously pick both at the same time in the same team. That's why they first pick Gnar, and they will make sure that they will have the Gnar Jarvan. Of course, opponent will have Rek'Sai, but it's a good trade, you know?
Well, I mean, you could play top lane Jarvan if you really wanted to do that.
Top lane Jarvan.
Not going to work for them. They took,
not really.
They took Morgana and they took Rek'Sai in there, and there is the Jarvan pickup for AHQ.
Yeah, Jarvan being locked in. So we talked about this yesterday. This is the 100% win rate combo that's pretty scary. They've locked in Tristana with it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got good team synergy, you basically got a team stun.
Yeah, I mean, they actually banned out Kassadin too, so Kassadin is kind of counter to that comp because of all his mobility, and we still have like LeBlanc left, I think. No, LeBlanc is banned. I can't see
it's banned.
But yeah, like if you pick mobility right now into that composition, you can actually work around it. But yeah, Morgana is not very like a mobile support. Thresh is really good against that comp because if someone gets caught out, you can lantern him back or something. But we actually see Aurelia being locked in too.
Yeah,
Aurelia is a really good pick against Gnar because Aurelia is like the only top lane champion with enough CC to lock Gnar down, and especially if you have a Rek'Sai in your team too, he has like a lot of damage and knock up too. So that's a very good, like if they focus their whole resources on the top lane and shut down the Gnar, they can actually work around it. And as we see, the enemy team has Karthus and Tristana locked in, which need a bit of time to ramp up. So if they actually manage to shut down top lane, then we have a pretty good game here going on for the yoeFW Wolves.
I believe the fact that they went for Morgana pick and Rek'Sai, maybe even you can say Irelia, is a really good pick come already with a little bit of poke from Corki. With this Karthus pick, I believe that if they would pick like a long range champ, let's say maybe Xerath could be, or something like that, it would be really, really good, because as soon as Morgana hits a binding, that guy is dead. And Karthus hard corners go in crazy, like Irelia, like when you go in with Fizz, etc., you know, because of the exhaust plus AoE E damage. Also because he dies and he's still alive. That's why I believe that right now a very long-range hero such as Orianna or Xerath will be perfect pick.
I'm seeing as the scary synergy of the Jarvan, the Karthus in there, the Gnar. Everybody's just like overlapping each other. There's just so much damage in there. It's scary. And then obviously you got the Thresh to just make sure they don't get away. It's a pretty good combo from HQ.
Both teams highly depend on the early game, how it goes, because both teams, if the blue side, for example, snowballs their lead and they have this crazy combo going on, then they will just storm team fights because there's no way you can out-team fight that team composition. Karthus is like very easy, and we saw, like Oswald said, that if they have a Xerath with the Morgana, we can see a lot of good picks coming in, which they actually did pick. So I'm actually surprised, like, it all depends on how the team pretty much wants to play it out, and if they camp the top lane to shut down Gnar or not, if they have focus on the mid lane. And I'm actually really interested to see what team, like what strategy they have coming into this game from the red side, pretty much.
There is something for sure. I can see Tristana and Karthus combo, you know already, like is very deadly, you know, and is really known, this combo, because you have somebody that does a lot of damage and of course will die, but then you have the resets on Tristana, and if you go to late game with this combo, Jarvan, Tristana, Karthus, Gnar, it's just, honestly, they're gonna win for sure. Of course they need the melees to be really tanky, because otherwise Xerath will be painful, but...
Well, I mean, we see time and time again that Gnar is going to be a tanky monster. Unless, you know, Dexter pointed out, if they camp hard on that top lane and, you know, really dominate on that top side of the map. Going to be an interesting one. Also, Westdoor, I have to point out, bringing in Karthus this time. If you look down his picks, he does pick slightly weird stuff sometimes. Played Mordekaiser against TPA, I think it was, over in LMS there. So some definite interesting picks there. And that's the thing, Westdoor is the star player of this team.
No doubt.
Let's not make any mistakes about that one. If you can shut down Westdoor, I think AHQ, you know, might be thrown off their game a little bit, and then not having the best of times really over in LMS. Yes, they've lost to probably what you'd say are the top three teams there. Obviously, yoeFW Wolves, TPA, and the Hong Kong team that, of course, built with Toys, Stanley, and all those guys in there.
Everyone back in it. You know, there's no doubt about it. Westdoor is the guy that obviously everyone looks to. there was like a myth, a legend building up around him back in the Twisted Fate days of Season 2.
Was sick,
but then obviously, when he moved into the 2014 at Worlds, he suddenly actually did stand up to all the big mid laners, so prove that he really is actually a very good mid laner. We'll see how it works out in this game, though, as we get live here. It is, of course, being broadcast direct from Taipei. We ourselves are obviously getting the live feed from there. We're sat in Cologne. It is early doors for all of us here. We're excited to see how this matchup works out. A very close battle last week in the league. Let's see how they do in this best of 3 semi-finals.
Of course, AHQ starting out here on the blue side. We will give you a rundown of them there. Of course, Ziv in the top lane playing Gnar, Albis in the jungle playing Jarvan, Westor in the mid lane on Karthus, and with Tristana on AD carry, and Green Tea, the support, is of course playing Thresh here in game number 1.
And of course, for yoeFW, Stake, he was the man that managed to really turn it around for them last week. It was a big dragon fight. They'd actually lost the dragon already, but then they managed to get in there and get that kills and rack up around about 4 kills, which took the mid tower. Karsa, of course, we saw him doing very well yesterday against the Bangkok Titans. Maple in the mid lane had a good game. NL and Sword Art. Sword Art, I noticed, is a very aggressive support player. And of course, we do have a suppose, no doubt about it. But yeah, NL, Sword Art, sorry, a very aggressive support player. They did actually play the Corki Morgana combo last week to great success. And I was noticing, like, he was the guy that was always up front. And now he's got, of course, his Dark Shield. If he can get there on quick enough and Thresh tries out those hooks, he's just going to counter it well. So, got a potential to do okay in the lane. Are they going to go for lane switches, though? That's the question.
Well, they played, of course, Morgi Corcana.
Morgi Corcana.
It is 4 a.m., guys, so, if I'm just throwing around words that don't make sense, then you know why. But Corki Morgana is the lane that they played, actually, yesterday. And when, actually, you were talking about magic damage and how Corki can be, especially in that double AD comp that they had yesterday, he was absolutely wrecking faces with that one. Obviously, things a little bit different this time around, but NL and Sword Art definitely going to be looking to go big here, especially since they're up against the Tristana, which you have to stop getting to strength later on in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Tristana is definitely a better champ late game than Corki is, unless Corki is like full poke and is fighting against a lot of armor. But in this situation, Yo has Morgana, has Cherath. It's actually really hard that AHQ don't build any magic resist. So Corki is not going to be as effective, obviously, with the poke as he was yesterday. It's a normal thing to see. But it's going to just be another AD carry, Anyway, we have to look at both setups and say if Yo Wolves don't get ahead early, they're going to really have a hard time. Just because of the reasons we've spoken about.
Well, not sure exactly what the pause is for right now, but we shall basically figure that one out. Obviously, those guys are over in Taipei, so it takes us a little bit of time for that for a message to actually get back to us. But looks like headsets are back on for AHQ right now, so we should be about ready to get this one back underway. And if you're wondering, they are playing at the Taipei Game Show, and it seems like we are going to be getting the unpause and getting this one kicked off. So we are going to jump back into game then. AHQ versus the yoeFW semi-final of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. Best of 3 to see who goes through to that tomorrow's best of 5 grand final, where of course a spot at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, which will take place in Katowice later on in the year, is up for grabs.
And there is a lane swap. Morgana does actually if Morgana is really good, does very well against Thresh in lane. Although I'm not entirely sure that was the exact reason they lane swap for. I believe they probably just want Gnar to not be rolling, I guess, too much. Although this is not either good for Irelia. So let's see how things work out. I'm actually looking forward to see this game. Both setups are pretty interesting.
Well, we are back into the game. Here we go. As you can see, that lane swap that you were talking about actually is being countered. You can see that NL and Sword Art are going up towards the top half of the map. So looks like yoeFW want to be in the duo lane. They want to be against each other. And they have the partnership going with them. It's a bit of a weird one, actually, because this is the duo lane and the jungler. No, actually, it's just the support. Just the support that's following him. I tell a lie because Corki's all on his own down the bottom. I'm blathering, but I didn't actually notice that Corki was completely on his own. So they're doing a 3-man jungle run right now.
It's more common than you think. You see this pretty often, and you have many ways of playing the lane swap.
It's early ganks. I think they're going for early ganks. They're coming around, Joe.
Yeah, going to move in straight for this one, but how are you going to lock down that Thresh? How are you going to lock down Tristana? You can see they're not even worried about that at this point, and just moving in there will fire off a couple of auto attacks, and so they'll just simply back away from that one.
So, correct me. Whoa! I was about to say that as Maple gets jumped on. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think what they're actually doing, it looked like they were probably trying to freeze the lane out here. I think they're just trying to bounce it into the tower, but I don't think Castle was quite expecting that much damage. He got the ignite down on him. I'm not too sure if he's going to go down. Hasn't got any reach and will just survive. Very little health. It looked like they were just trying to bounce basically the wave into the tower. I'm not sure they did it far enough. That lane looks like it's been frozen quite horribly. AHQ got it right by their tower. I think that's backfired badly for yoeFW.
Yeah, we'll see when Irelia actually comes back into lane exactly what that's going to do. Picking up a health crystal, got a crystalline flask, ward as well, which certainly if that lane's frozen a little bit further up, that ward's going to be very important so that he doesn't get ganked from the around the back here from Albis. But we'll see how that one all works out. On the other side of the map, Karsa continuing on his way, hitting level 3 here already. And that, of course, left Corki and Gnar down in this bottom side. And if you look at the CS, Irelia is an absolute country mile ahead on that front, and Ziv's going to have problems here getting any more because we've got the support coming down. However, Albis is there, forcing a flash instantly from Sword Art.
Yeah, it worked out well, though. Managed to get away. Now he's got the jungler of his own coming up. In comes Castle. Can he get on towards Albis? There's the knock-up. There's the Dark Binding. There is the first blood for NL. A very good combo from yoeFW.
That was really well executed. The chain CC was perfect, and there was no way he could survive right there.
That's the thing with the Rek'Sai. You've got that flash knock-up you can do. I mean, obviously you can do the flash flag and drag, but he did the straight into there, knew he was about to pop up, comes out of his tunnel, knocks him in the air, quick chain CC, and really very well executed by yoeFW. Going back to that top lane, they actually reset the lane. They bounced it into the tower, so it meant that Stakes actually got himself a big chunk of CS. You can see the difference between him and Gnar is 23-2 as Dexter wrecks the studio.
It's cause we left him out of this cast, you know. He's angry about that one, throwing cans around all over the place.
Wait a minute, Javan has flash actually. I just noticed.
Oh dear, Ziv in trouble here as well. Sword Art's going to catch him with a Dark Bind. He wasn't followed up by NL this time around. And you can see, of course, that Albis is going to come down there, so that'll force him away. I tell you, it's not Albis, it's Green Tea who's down there.
Caster's coming back down towards this bottom lane, and they're going to have another go at this, but
it was too obvious.
Yeah, too obvious, that one. There's a minion wave really to block out the Dark Binding as well.
I seem to recall back from the World's Prep we did many moons ago now, it seems a long time ago, Green Tea was actually incredibly good on Thresh. I'm sure it was Green Tea I'm thinking of. That ended up getting that banned away from him by a lot of teams in that group stage.
Yeah, I mean, Green Tea is a fantastic support. I think the problem maybe that they have with their duo lane is actually that Anne's not quite the level of Green Tea when you come to really compare them there. And NL so far this tournament, and what we've seen of him over in LMS, if I can get my letters out, that he's been, I think, head and shoulders really above Anne, but still a lot to be decided on that one. Playing a champion like Tristana, if you can make it to that late game, then you can still wreck faces. It doesn't really matter who you are. For now, though, we sit at that 1 kill on the board to the yoeFW, and they have over 1,000 gold lead at this point, and now they're going to set up a bit of a gank onto Westdoor.
Oh, they're unseen. They're going to go straight in towards it. Westdoor does flash away. Good and early, though. Make sure he doesn't get knocked up. Castle didn't have flash this time around, so it's a safe escape for him. But flash burn, that's all they needed to do, and that's going to put him on his tippy toes for the next few minutes while that's down.
Yeah, definitely. It's maybe not as important against Serath, but it's still very important, because if Serath catches him with an E, he's going to be dead for sure. With flash, he's not going to be dead. So it's a lot of pressure right here. When you burn the flash, I think people underestimate a little bit the use of flash, because when you burn the flash, you can create so much more pressure. You can't imagine. The guy will miss creeps, the guy will miss XP, the guy will mix pressure. It's really, really important, not getting just the kill, you know?
Maple will have his flash coming up in just a second. Obviously used it earlier on when Albis came to this middle lane. Guys, just to kind of, if you weren't watching yesterday, we are taking a clean feed, the game feed from Taipei directly. If you're wondering why there's no game sounds, well, we have to tell them, I guess, that they're not on right now. So hopefully we'll be able to get game sounds in here in a few moments. Apparently they're aware of that, so that should be fixed and coming our way soonish. Let's have a look down some of the items here that have come in earlier on for Tristana. Picking up that Avarice Blade, getting the gold ticking away, plus a pickaxe there for Anne. On the other side, of course, NL, no real surprises, working himself up towards a Trinity Force. Sheen is already in there. Phage will be coming next for him. For Na, who's a lot of CS behind in the top lane, got nothing really to work with yet.
Yeah, he's never been able to catch up. It was 23-2 right at the start. Stake, big advantage. Got that ulti, clearing the waves away from his tower. No problem defending this duo lane partnership. But that's not really what AHQ were worried about. They just wanted to get Tristana going, and it's working out for them. They've got the CS on the board. He's working his way towards that static shift. That first item, of course, the Avarice Blade in there that builds in towards it.
The Drake.
And yeah, as you say, it is going to be the Drake. And it's going to be an easy pickup as well. Doesn't look like it's going to get stolen away. Taking you back to last week, actually, yoeFW had their second dragon of the game stolen away by a Maokai sapling. Not the best, especially as a jungler, when you've got the pressure of a smite, there's nobody there but a single sapling running in. You really shouldn't be missing that.
No, that's a little bit awkward. Didn't quite go this way. And
I actually had to watch the VOD back like 3 times because I was like, wait, was that just a sapling?
How did that happen? Yeah, it was just a sapling sat inside the back of the dragon pit that exploded. Perfectly timed to pick that one up. And obviously, as you said, first dragon going over. Nice use of that Rek'Sai ultimate, though, knowing exactly where the pressure was from AHQ on the map. Ulted down to the bottom side with the duo lane. Easy dragon. They may lose the top turret here, though, although we can see that Stake doing a good job of keeping him away. Did get hooked in or take him some damage, but he saved his tower, at least for now, for this wave.
And as Dexter predicted in the pick and ban phase, the focus is on top lane. You can see the farm difference. The lane swap apparently is working wonders. And yeah, as Dexter predicted, the top lane focus is right there. And if Irelia gets ahead, it can be really, really bad for HQ.
Yeah, Stake's doing a very good job at keeping him away from that tower as well.
Difference, man.
Yeah, just starting to just plow away from this one. It started off at 20 CS and they just zoned out Ziv the whole game so far down this bottom lane. That's what Sword Art's been doing. That's been his job. And then he quickly goes away from that lane. You can see he's got them boots of mobility as well, so he can zip around the map and keep them guessing. Doing a good job at staying out of there. And if you looked towards the vision, obviously, that we did see yoeFW pick up that dragon, but the entire lower river is just littered by them. Not a single ward in the entire lower jungle or river by AHQ. This is not good coverage from them at the moment.
Up until this point, after this moment on, is when you realize the difference between good and great teams, which is with the support movement around the map. When a support is synergizing well with the jungle, is game changing, and we will see right here who's the better team.
Well, for now, obviously, we did see Green Tea on the top side of the map, so might explain the lack of wards down on the bottom side, and with that dragon gone, they might be feeling that it's less of a priority, at least for now, but since they've taken the tower, they should be moving down to the bottom side, and then we'll see exactly what Green Tea's going to do with that one. For now, this mid lane, despite a fair bit of early pressure, in fact, both mid laners did burn their flashes one after the other. There's not been too much action there. It's been a lot of farming. It's very even at this point, 111 to 107 CS. Rod of Ages done for Westdoor on about the 11-minute mark. Morel and Omicron on the other side for Maple. Yeah,
it was quite early. The Rod of Ages, I mean, it's an item that it makes you scale like crazy, especially if you do it early. This was rather very early. Having in mind that he got ganked and he had to burn his flash, his farm is being on top.
Oh, as if they're getting caught out, and Stake fancying his chances there. Not scared of Green Tea hanging around, that's for sure.
Yeah, he had the castle nearby as well, so had the support if you needed it. And let's not forget Maple's ulti has an incredible long range on it, so you can just pile that down there. And did get caught just by Dark Binding there, Sword Art and NL doing a very good job in this lane, but the two AD carries are still even neck and neck, which actually kind of plays into Tristana's favour for Anne, because of course we're going to be looking at, as soon as that Triforce is completed by Stake and NL, I'm expecting to see yoeFW start trying to create plays.
Also with their Avarice Blade, getting some additional gold. It's going to scale really good.
Yeah, actually, pretty much keeping up there on gold, despite the difference in global gold. 1,500 the difference between the two teams overall. So, see how that one continues to play out. We are finally seeing the 1v1 on the top side of the map, and well, it's probably not good news really for Ziv.
It's getting brutal, actually.
I mean, 41 to 6. Well, it's 60 CS difference, 40 to 100.
Of that team gold, 1,000 of it is just between that top lane. 100 CS differential. It's pretty huge, and the problem is it's not Ziv's fault. He's just been left on the island down the bottom. They're happy to let him go. We see Castle zipping back in with that ultimate. You might thank your ears that we don't have game sounds at the moment, but he's going to be clearing out that blue ball for Maple, who should be able to pick that one up. Nobody's going to get close enough to steal it. So it seems that everybody's just quite happy to play this one out until the next dragon spawns. yoeFW did pick up the first dragon of the game. Let's see if they get the second, as Albis getting locked up there. Maple doing a fair chunk of damage to him. That's not going to help well in his pathing. He may actually fancy that one. I didn't think...
Oh, he should have felt it. Oh, he had no mana.
Well, Rek'Sai was coming in as well, but yeah, he's forced him away, and that pink ward they've just put in that bush cleared out quickly.
Sherrod, if Sherrod would have got like 20 more mana or 15 more mana, he would have been dead for sure, Javan.
Oof. Oh, top lane.
That's a kill. That is a kill here. Zofia is going to go down. Tower not enough, actually, to keep Stake away. And, well, if it wasn't bad enough already in that top lane for Ziv, he's now giving a kill over to his opposite number. There's a 50 CS difference between them. That should be enough money for Trinity Force. Actually, Nox had just gone back to buy before that one, but he's certainly going to be on that Trinity Force pretty soon. Obviously, going to be Warden's Mail added now towards that Giant's Belt for Ziv. So he's going to be getting up to a Randuin's fairly soon, which will, help him out a little bit, but he's still going to have a tough time in that lane.
In all fairness, Nar didn't use his E aggressively at all, so he actually did what he had to do. He just got 100 to 0'd, and that's just a matter of items. It's not that much of his fault. He should have got a bit helped, probably.
And look at the map movement once again. yoeFW, dragon about to spawn. Everybody down in the lower half of the map. Everybody ready to go. Everybody clearing out. Scuttlecrab being picked up by Karsa as well. We do have Green Tea and Albis nearby, but I don't think they fancy this fight. If Stake were to get involved compared to Ziv, then Ziv's actually getting destroyed in that top lane. He just lost half his hit points here. Can't do a thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, once you get a top laner, your tank, so to speak, down to half HP, your mid lane is not exactly healthy there as well. You're going to have trouble actually fighting for this dragon overall, but looks like they actually want to come in for this one. This could be dangerous for AHQ. Karsa is down to half. There is the ultimate from Xerath, and it will be NL that finishes off Green Tea. I'm not sure why they fought for that one, really, when they did.
They might actually get the top turret as well. Stake stuck around there, cancelled his teleport. So a kill, a dragon. Well, if Ann doesn't back away, he might go down as well. And a good chunk of the tower. Also in the mid lane, actually, Maple and Westor are going at it. We will finally get it on the screen there. Maple really putting a lot of pressure on them. That turret in the mid lane is going low. yoeFW is just winning out every single lane here. You can see the CS differential starting to clock up for NL as well against Ann. It's just all going yoeFW's way.
I believe AHQ got outpicked and outbanned in this game, and as you can see already, outplayed too. And if there's one setup in the whole game you don't want to fall behind against, is this one. It's Morgana plus Xerath. That's really painful to defend a tower against.
And I wonder if last week's games played a big effect on them with that Gnar Jarvan combo, which they made sure they locked in at the start. They took that away from yoeFW, but it seems that Yoe was just like, okay, we know what you're going to do. We know how to counter it because we've used it a bunch of times ourselves. And the 100% win rate, Dexter, might be going out the window here. We'll see how it works out for this combo.
Well, I mean, they've got a nice combo themselves, right? We've already seen what happens with that chain CC, so a case of going for something a little bit different.
When you're 70 CS behind in the top lane as well, he's actually getting close to...
that doesn't help.
He's over double. Can he get for triple? Let's see how he goes.
As soon as AHQ saw the Morgana pick, I don't think they should have went for Karus. It's way too risky, and Karus can get, maybe not cornered 1v1, but he can get cornered in game plan-wise, with poke. So I think it was a little bit too optimistic to pick Karus that early.
Oh, Ann's maybe in a dangerous position here. There's 4 members. You can see this is actually being played very well by yoeFW. You can see NL sat there. Now he's onto his tower. There's 4 members of Yoe all pushing in towards him. That tower's going to go down, and suddenly Green Tea and Ann all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I think Green Tea's probably thinking, dude, why did you come here? Why don't you run to ulti in a tower? Leave me alone on this one. They lose 2 men. That's a nice little flash from Albis away from the stun of Xerath. He probably would have gone down if that one would have landed onto him. But there are now 4 men on the bottom side of the map, which means they have to now not just lose 2 kills, but they're having to defend an inner tower.
Yeah, and their top laner can't join them at all. Either no teleport for Ziv, and he's losing his own battle in there as it is against Stake, who himself is just continuing to push and pressure. So, bottom turret going down. 2 of the Aeltas now out. Top one is just the last one standing. That should go soon. NL's not going to take that ping ward before he backs. No, he's just going to back on top of it. Oh, I'm not sure he's going to get away. Yeah, actually, this may go backly for him. Westor gets the exhaust down, doesn't have enough.
I think, I mean, if you see the previous push on the tier 2 tower, if there is one reason Riot created the tower for, is this one, you know, to not to get destroyed by Poke when they get ahead. This shield is actually a really smart thing to do. And you can see how they could have closed the game actually without the tower.
Well, it is 5-0, 3 turrets to 1. Yoe Flash Wolves. Maple will pick that up, yeah. You don't need boots. You just go straight death cap. I mean, that's how you work it. You get that Morellonomicon death cap. He doesn't need mobility. He's pretty slow anyway. If he gets caught out, then it's his own fault.
I have a different theory. I think he's just lucky Nari is not 8-0 like usual.
Yeah.
That's why he can do it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the balls for it.
Well, Nar's not got any boots either at this stage, so...
He's not got a lot, really.
Well... To be fair, he's got 74 CS to the 150 of Stake, so staying at that half like that it was before. Yeah, exactly. He could have had a couple of pairs by now, but not exactly ideal for him. And we see that Yoe, as they did just before, getting those wards down on the bottom side of the map and getting to a point where they're just going to start to really strangle AHQ out of the map here. Another dragon coming up in just less than 2 minutes' time as well. Both top laners have TP. Nah might not want to use it, though.
The thing is,
stay away.
The yoeFW Wolves, they're putting so much pressure around the map that they can't help out Ziv here. Ziv's just being left on that island, that proverbial island in that top lane that we don't see Albis going up there to try and help out. There's nobody that's been able to get anywhere near it. Yet, so far, 20 minutes in, we haven't seen a single ulti from Westor either, which may even just alleviate any bit of pressure.
No one's been low enough from Yoe, I think, to actually, warrant using it.
That's the classic Alex itch, wasn't it? Back in Moscow 5 CLG. It's like, if any of you use the ulti to lower them to try and break down through, instead he just held onto it for the entire game and then barely used it. And then they lost the game.
They've also not had a team fight, where they'd want to get the rest of them lower. There was that little, I don't even want to call it a team fight at Dragon, where Green Tea walked in, got binded up, got hit by Xerath, and decided, that was the end of his life. We'll see, though, because, as I said, that next Dragon will be coming up here in just a few moments. We do have now boots for Gnar, and he's also finished that rando endowment. There's also, Maple, you pointed out on Xerath, didn't have any boots. He just went back and bought Source boots straight out.
Oh, well, some money left, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be brutal from now on. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. A setup like this will only get better when you're ahead.
Uh-oh, so Stake once again keeping the pressure on Ziv in that top lane. We're seeing Karsa poking out. It's the jungler and support that are actually keeping the mid laner and jungler busy. Westor actually going to get jumped on. Dart Binding catches on him. In comes the Xerath ulti. And Karsa picks up another easy kill for them. Whoa, Westor's ulti. It's going to do not a lot.
This setup with Rek'Sai and Morgana seems actually really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong.
I mean, it's the chain CC there. We're just locking him up. And again, perfect timing. Dragon spawns up. yoeFW Wolves pick that one up without any contesting from the AHQ and really not able to get close to this one.
I think Dexter can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Morgana binding is like the longest CC a support can have, right? Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Like I think it's like 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds. Holy.
Holy moly?
Holy moly.
I was about to say holy. So yeah, holy moly. No, but yeah, it's just brutal, When you get ahead with those 3 seconds CC, he's dead for sure.
And I mean that's without and I was just about to say, and that's without Xerath getting involved or Rek'Sai getting involved as well. So
I was about to say they've left that ping ward there, but I think they left it for the reason just to try and bait Albis in there and quickly took him down. And this is very much going one way. I expected this a lot closer, especially after the first matchup just last week, but yoeFW clearly have AHQ's number in this first matchup, and they need to be looking at this, looking at the bans. yoeFW went with the exact same bans as last week, so clearly, focusing out Westall, going for those 3 mid lane bans, which is the right way to go. I feel like AHQ actually taking away LeBlanc kind of banned themselves out there, because it's weird that they went for that. They didn't want to allow Maple to have it, but then they go for the Karthus, like you say, with the combo. It needed a long time to get going, and they've just not been gifted that time by yoeFW.
With those bans, I mean, I know Jace is not being played the last 2 weeks too much, but Jace is still a very good pick. With that many bans like that, I think Jace could have been a really good pick. So will be Orena, so will be Sherath, but definitely not Karus.
Funny you should say that, because yoeFW played Gnar and the Jarvan, and they had Jace with Corki Morgana in that mid lane. So it was the combo that they went with.
Yeah, then I don't get why they didn't pick that instead. I think Karus, extremely bad pick against Morgana. Overall, of course, overall. It depends on the whole thing, but overall it's not that great.
Well, so far in this game, you're not wrong on that one. It's certainly not working out for them. They're going to see a possible red buff steal here. Karsa in there, and I don't think there's going to be much of a challenge for this one, and going to be kept zoned out there by Morgana, and that red buff is slowly but surely going to be dwindled low on health and stolen away nicely by Karsa. So really losing everything in the bottom side, in the top side of the jungle, getting caught out a couple more times. I mean, looking at the scoreboard, there's not even that single kill on the board yet for AHQ. So this one's certainly not the close game that we were maybe expecting.
Yeah, this is perfect for yoeFW. They've just pushed in on this mid turret. That's going to be the mid turret going down. Look at the bottom lane. Oh yeah, Albis caught up. He's not going to escape from this one. In fact, they're going to go in there. NL is in trouble though. He will get locked out. That's going to be one picked up for Westall. The first, no, it's not going to be Westall. It got stolen away by Anne. But the rest of the team is just disappearing. No damage. Yeah, that Karthus ultimate going to do next to nothing. And then they can just move on down. Stake had already pushed that bottom wave in, so it will be 2 inner turrets once again for yoeFW. That will be 6 on the board, and of course them 10-1 kills. Very much a one-sided match. We were not expecting this.
Karus is in a horrible position right now, because when you don't have enough gold as Karus, what do you build? You have to go for the Sonias, right? But no, he has to go for Rabadon, because otherwise he has no damage. Normally the ideal build is Sonias into Void Staff, but of course you need to be even or ahead to go for that build. So he's in a horrible position right now. And I'm actually sorry, I pretty much speak about the mid lane only. I'm not, I don't analyze games too much, just doing my best, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
focusing too much on the mid lane.
Look at the gold across the board. 3,000 gold differential in the top, 3,000 in the jungle, 2,500 in that mid lane. The bottom lane pairings as well, 2,000 between both of those, the AD carry and support. It is a gigantic gulf in class in this first game with a 13,000 gold differential. And it is very much yoeFW to lose right now. They've taken away everything else. Let's see how they finish off the match. They have to push in. They have to get one of these inhibitor turrets down. Of course, we do have these little sneaky gates at the side, but Albis walking into this one. Stakes putting the damage down. The rest of his team will come in, though, and Stakes suddenly in trouble. But then comes the snipe. Oh, he doesn't quite get away. Tried that cheeky flash away. Maple did pick up the kill on Albis, but Stake went down.
1 for 1. Now I'm interested what the reply is there. Yoe were actually pinging furiously over on the other side of the map and are now retreating out towards the Baron area. There's actually no vision down on that side of the map. In fact, I don't think AHQ have been past the second tier turret line here for quite a while. There is...
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a Fed Xerath against your AD carry.
That's the item that you go for with Xerath. That's just... The game should be over. It would be a catastrophe if they manage to come back.
Good layered stun as well. That was the dart binding into the Maple. I can never remember what that one is. It's not the Arcania Pulse. It is the Shocking Orb. Of course, the E-stun, as you called it with the Xerath earlier.
And as you know already, Xerath's W, which I don't know the name of, when you hit him with the, in the center, you do twice the damage. So when Morgana hits the binding, you will always hit the W with the max damage. And that damage is just brutal. I think it's one of the highest damage in the game.
Well, there's the inhib turret going down. All too easy so far for yoeFlash Wolves. 12-2 and up now as they move in for that inhib. I don't think anyone from AHQ can defend this one.
Well, I mean,
they got a wave pushed in the mid as well.
You can't defend in the best of times against this comp that's got Corki, Xerath poking away. They are going to have a fight here, though. We see Green Tea going low. Actually, Jarvan's got the Cataclysm down. He'll basically keep himself locked up there till he dies. Westor is going to fall here in just a second as well, and they're actually quite low from this one. There is the Karthus ulti available. He might actually get himself a couple here. It was close, but didn't get anything in the end, and that's going to be a 4-for-0. Which means that first inhibitor is going to go down. They might be able to take the second one here. They're going to have to juggle the aggro. Those minions aren't quite inside of the base. Finally, they do get them down, and this should be 2 inhibitors plus the 4 kills.
Rek'Sai looks too much like Nocturne, doesn't he?
I see what you mean. The Nocturne, the Blade one, whatever it's called. Yep.
Just realized.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Right, please, let's get on this one. Actually, it's Jat.
Just make it yellow. Make it yellow, like flashy yellow.
Flashy yellow. Some rave skin. It's got his glow sticks in his hand and everything. Anyway, get back to the game. 16-2, yoeFlash Wolves, dominant performance in this first matchup. Complete difference from last week. They've clearly learned a lot. Rek'Sai zipping straight over to that dragon, which has spawned. He's going to be taking that one down. That will be the third of the game, fourth actually of the game, going to be picked up for yoeFlash Wolves without replies so far from AHQ.
Yeah, not really being... Well, I mean, they did go near one, and then they got destroyed when they did that. So I think this might just be a case of maybe the 5th dragon even. I'm not sure that Yoe even particularly need that at this stage. I mean, they are an absolute mile ahead when it comes to gold across the board. Once again, see Maple 409, NL 515, 12 assists for Morgana as well, and Sword Art really been landing those bindings. And as I said, once one bit of CC lands, the rest of it is so easy to follow up with. And of course, they've got 2 inhibitors down at this point, AHQ. So I see Yoe just doing it by the book, going to be pushing out that bottom lane and going for the 3rd inhib.
It feels like Rek'Sai is probably a little bit too strong right now.
Oh, really?
I don't even think people master the champion, fully, because it's sort of new, sorry.
Well, I mean, the problem is oh my god. Quick
that
dodge.
was one R only.
Hot stepping. Does manage to get in there. Like, again, there's that knock-up straight away. The flash knock-up from Karsi, it's like a guaranteed knock-up. And if you can catch multiple people, it's going to be quick and easy. Inhibitor will go down. That's going to be surely the game closing out here as super minions compiling in the top and mid lane.
Yeah, don't really see what they can do to hold this one off. They can't really stand on the Nexus turrets here because they're just going to get locked up or poked out. You see their Corki, masses of damage coming in. We got Rek'Sai who's just kind of running around and saying, okay, who do I pick on first? And I'm tanky to tank both the turrets as well while we go. In the end, both those Nexus turrets do go down. We should be seeing a couple of kills here right at the very end as well. Westor will flash back onto the fountain, but they've already picked off 2. The Nexus is going to fall, and AHQ have 1 foot in the final here. No, I messed that one up, didn't I? yoeFlash Wolves have 1 foot in the final. I had one job at the end of the game, and I messed it up.
For a moment there, I thought Steak was like straight on the phone. I was like, wow, is he just reporting straight in? But he was actually just, his ears hurting, it seems, from the headset or the earpiece or whatever the hell he's using over there. But very, very solid performance. And, we were talking about it right at the start. The difference between the top laners, obviously Ziv on was kept out of the game for a long period of time. It did end up 100 CS differential between them. It carried through from that very beginning. So really, from the level 1 play that yoeFlash Wolves did, they had that 3-man stack, pushed around, left Corki on his own, 2-1v1 it, which was a little weird. Like, Ziv tried the buddy system with Albis, and then just didn't read the situation like, you should probably be in lane. There's only a single Corki there. You need to be in lane. Instead, they just carried on the buddy system, and he just fell so far behind.
Yeah, there are many ways of playing the lane swap. And you have always one way of playing it with corners the other, which corners the other, etc. So you could see in this game who was actually the better team. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next game, but I can guarantee you already that yoeWolves